So the government is currently partially shut down. Anytime a government shutdown happens, and this is a partial shutdown, but anytime the government shuts down, basically what it means is a bunch of things that are considered non-essential are put on hold. They are just shut down. Now, certain things that are essentials, like, obviously the military and things like that, those things don't get shut down, but other things do. And there are a bunch of federal workers who are not getting paid right now. Here is a poll. Now, the polls are very important, okay, because if you go back to Bill Clinton, when the Republicans refused, they, basically back to Bill Clinton when Newt Gingrich and them refused to, agree on a budget. They shut down, and the polls were horrible for them. They absolutely destroyed them. They pile drove them. Same thing with Obama, too, just to a lesser degree, where morons like Ted Cruz, even John McCain, by the way, I remember this. John McCain shafted Ted Cruz because he said there are like thousands of people in my state who are unable to get their welfare because of Ted Cruz. Now, I guess no one likes Ted Cruz. But anyways, here's a poll. This poll says more Americans blame Trump for shutdown than Democrats. Now, this is a pretty lopsided poll, actually. It's not really close, but I'll read to you guys what the Hill says. It says, more Americans blame President Trump than Democrats for the 6-day partial government shutdown, according to a new Reuters Ipsos poll released on Thursday. The new poll found that 33% of Americans blamed congressional Democrats for the shutdown, while 47% blamed Trump. 7% blamed Republicans in Congress. A little more than 12% said other in response to options of what to blame. Only 35% of those polled said they support including money for a wall on the Mexican border in a bill to open the government. Just 25% of those polled said they back Trump for shutting down parts of the federal government over the issue. So if you don't know, the reason why there's this shutdown is because Trump is attempting to be able to virtue signal to his base and get the wall, because that's what, his main campaign promise. Now, obviously, if you know about his campaign, you already know that he broke that a long time ago, because what did he say? He said, we're going to build a wall and have Mexico pay for it. They are basically verbatim. Mexico's not going to pay for it. We already knew that, so you're already getting shafted. Now, there are Trump fans who currently have set up a GoFundMe to raise the money for it. So hilarious. And the most hilarious part about this is, I don't know what number they are at right now, I forgot, but they're somewhere in the, I think they're in the single-digit millions. It might be in the double-digit millions. I'm not sure. But the amount of money needed, I think some people are under the delusion that they're actually raising a lot of money for this wall. They're not raising anything for this wall. The wall, I think conservative estimates are like $5 billion. I think that's the conservative estimates. Now, if you're looking at $5 billion, how many millions are there in a billion? There's 1,000. So if you were to raise $1 million a day, that would take you 1,000 days, and that's just to get to 1 billion. You've got to get to 5, because a billion is not going to get you enough. So that whole thing is truly remarkable to me. But this is just an attempt to be able for Trump to virtue signal to his base that, hey, I got the wall, even though, yet again, I have to repeat that Mexico didn't pay for it, which was his promise. So it's kind of shallow, and it's pretty pointless anyways, but his supporters are obviously very dumb. And I think that the polls won't look good for Trump on this one, because who wants the government to shut down over border wall funding? Is that really something that the American people, the poll doesn't show that, said, it says only 35% say they support including money for a wall on the Mexican border in order to reopen the government. So, listen, man, this is really dumb that they're shutting down the government over this. And no, we should not budge an inch. We're not paying for this dumb fuck wall that's not going to do anything, because a majority of illegal people who are here overstay visas, and on top of that, the immigration issue is non-existent. There is net zero Mexican immigration, which means that there are as many people leaving as there are coming in. So it's an issue that's blown out of proportion. It doesn't affect the majority of American people. There are serious issues that we need to get down to, not dumb jokes like this.